On the night of June 9th, 1912, the town of Villisca, Iowa, went to sleep, believing it was safe. Doors were unlocked, windows were open. The air was warm, heavy with the smell of early summer. Inside a small white house on 2nd Street, the Moore family had just returned from church. Josiah Moore, his wife Sarah, and their 4 children settled in for the night. 2 young girls who had been invited to stay over for a sleepover laughed quietly as they changed into nightclothes. No one in that house knew they were already being watched. Sometime after midnight, someone entered. There was no sign of forced entry, no broken locks. Whoever it was moved silently, confidently, as if they had been there before. They picked up an axe that belonged to the family, one kept near the bedroom. The killer went upstairs first. Josiah and Sarah were asleep when the blows came, heavy, precise, over and over again. The axe didn't just kill, it destroyed. The weapon was raised and brought down long after it was necessary, until the room was soaked and unrecognizable. One by one, the children were taken next. Each of them struck while they slept. No screams loud enough to alert the neighbors, no struggle that anyone heard. Then the killer went downstairs. In a small guest room, the 2 visiting girls slept side by side. They never woke up. Afterward, the killer didn't leave right away. They covered the mirrors, draped cloth over the windows, washed their hands. A plate of food was taken from the kitchen. A piece of bacon was half eaten and left behind, as if the murderer needed a moment to rest before stepping back into the night. When morning came, Villisca awoke to horror. Concerned neighbors noticed the house was unusually quiet. No movement, no children outside. When they entered the home, they found a scene so violent that seasoned investigators struggled to describe it. 8 people were dead. 6 of them were children. The axe lay near the bed, wiped clean, except for the blade. The town collapsed into panic. Posses were formed. Strangers were watched. Every shadow felt dangerous. Investigators poured in, but mistakes were made immediately. The house was trampled by curious onlookers. Evidence was contaminated. Leads were ignored. Several suspects were named: a traveling preacher, a disgruntled co-worker, a local man with a dark past. None were ever convicted. Years passed. Decades followed. The case went cold, but the house didn't. People who later lived there reported footsteps in empty rooms, children crying at night, doors opening on their own. Visitors claimed they felt sudden nausea, crushing headaches, and overwhelming dread, especially in the upstairs bedrooms. In 2014, during a paranormal investigation, a man stabbed himself inside the house. He survived, but said later that he felt compelled, as if something inside the home had pushed him toward it. The Villisca house still stands today. The beds are still there. The rooms are still narrow. The silence is still heavy. No one has ever been held accountable for what happened that night. And that may be the most terrifying part, because whoever walked into that house in 1912 walked away and was never seen again.